Okay, I'm going to try and quickly do this part. This is the second way of solving the same problem. This was one tape diagram that was true that added up to 100 miles. That's not the only way that we can add things up. Some people may think of it this way. On day one, I'll write day one up here, I run before school and after school. My miles before school plus my miles after school. On day two, same thing. Your miles before school and your miles after school. On day three, same thing. Day four, same thing. Day five, same thing. Remember, the total was 100 miles. All right. And we already know, I'm going to look back at what we did back here on the first example, or the first diagram, that before school, you're running 9 miles. We already did that calculation, so I'll just write in 9 for each of those. And for after school, we changed the variable a to 6 times t. Your 6 miles per hour times the time. So what's being added up? We're adding up 9 plus 6t plus 9 plus 6t plus 9 plus 6t. We're basically adding up 9 plus 6t 5 times. What's the shortest, simplest way we can write that? We're adding up 9 plus 6t, this group, 5 times. So 5 times 9 plus 6t. Technically, we would say 5 times the quantity of, or the group, 9 plus 6t. What's the total going to be? 100 miles. So that's the equation of that tape diagram. Okay? Now, we're not going to guess and check. That'll be too complicated. What we're going to do is we're going to work backward. But remember, working backward is the inverse of guessing and checking. So I need to figure out or identify my guess and check operations in order to figure out my work backward operations. If you're going to guess and check, what steps would you do to guess and check? First, you guess a number. Let's say 1 hour. So I'm guessing 1 hour will work. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 9 is 15 times 5. Remember, you always start with the inside the parentheses first. Times 5 would be 75. That doesn't work. But what steps or operations did I do to my guess? I timesed by 6. I added 9. I multiplied by 5. There were 3 steps or 3 operations I did to my guess to see if it's the right guess. Working backward is the inverse. You have to work backward or undo those 3 steps. So we have to work backward on multiplying by 5, undo that, or the inverse of it would be divide by 5. And remember, an algebraic equation, or any equation, is a seesaw. You want to keep it balanced or equal, you do the same thing to both sides. If I'm going to divide by 5, I'm going to do it to both sides of the equation. 5 divided by 5 is 1. It cancels out. So what's left on the left side of the seesaw? 9 plus 6t. On the right, 100 divided by 5, you just have to calculate that, which is 20. Next step. Remember, working backwards, we have to do the opposite or the inverse of adding 9. That's subtract 9. So in our seesaw, we're going to subtract 9 from this side, subtract 9 from this side. And I'm setting up just like you did in 4th grade. And this subtracting 9 will cancel out or undo that adding 9. What's left? Just the 6t. On the right side, what's left? 20 minus 9, that will be 11. Third step to undo is the multiply by 6. So we're going to divide by 6. So let me draw my seesaw. We're going to divide by 6. That will cancel out that 6. Divide by 6, we have to calculate that. On the left side, the letter T is all by itself. We say it's isolated. That's the whole goal of algebra. That's what we're really doing. We're isolating the variable by manipulating algebraic principles. 11 divided by 6, well, that's not going to be a whole number. That's 11/6. But we can change it to a mixed number. That's going to be 1 and 5/6. And isn't that the answer we had the first way we did it? And that was hours. So just under 2 hours.